Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Leo.
I'm Leon.
This is not going to be confusing at all.
Not at all.
And yeah, we've got Trauma Center New Blood. We are running the game in Japanese, hence why it says Kadutius New Blood. We're running in the normal difficulty, and I don't know, did we get a file name at all?
We did not meet the file name incentive.
No worries, I already have one handy, thankfully. I'm gonna remember the right year this time.
Yeah, not traveling in time, Leo.
Alright, cool. And yeah, I get ready on time, so let's do some surgery. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a text skip throughout most of the game, so we don't have weird bits of dialogue. Weirdly enough, this game has like full voice acting for it, so it means that pretty much every piece of text you see will have some kind of dialogue, but skip kind of avoids that and turns that off. So sometimes you'll just get the start of a voice, like a voice line, and then we hit skip. Yeah, we're going to be playing essentially a co-op game. Well, I'm going to be playing a co-op game as one person with a Wiimote, which sounds as absurd as you think it is.
So we're entering our first op, 1-1. It's basically a tutorial to let you know what each tool does. Not even every tool, you use like 4 tools. So first you have to boost some vitals with a syringe so the patient doesn't die, because if vitals hit 0, the patient dies. We generally do not want that. We completely do not want that. Then we use the sutures to close up some of the wounds, jout the entrance incision, and open the patient. Then Leo used the forceps to grab all the bones out of the patient, because patient's arm got ruptured by something, I don't remember.
A bear attack, I think.
Bear attack, common occurrence.
Apparently, well, we are in Alaska, so I guess it makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
Still weird.
So he pulled out all the bones outside the patient, then put them back in the correct order, as you know, as you do in classic medicine.
That's really not what you should do. So yeah, that's the first op. It's pretty quick, and that's gonna basically set the pace for the rest of the game. Where we're just gonna go pretty fast. You notice we have 2 doctors. We have Marcus and we have Valerie. It kind of comes clear a bit later on as to why we have 2 doctors. But the first chapter, it's basically doesn't matter who we pick. But I will be making a conscious choice later down the line to pick Valerie. Otherwise, we'll just be picking Marcus because it's faster.
Default position.
Yeah. So this op, we're going to have some tumors. We're introduced to the laser as well as the drain. It should be pretty straightforward to do some basic surgery. I mean, basic surgery sounds a bit odd saying that out loud.
Yeah. We're doing more of malpractice than surgery, to be completely fair.
We do call this game Anime Malpractice Simulator for a good reason.
Yeah. You can potentially open the patient without gelling the incision, but gelling it makes it way more, the hitbox way bigger, so it's like actually faster to do the extraction and gel it. And for tumors, the game first of all requires you to do a tutorial to locate them with an ultrasound, but we generally do not do that because we know where they are and we just cut them out blindly, like true doctors. After that, we need to drain the mucous membrane, cut out the tumor, take it out, place a membrane, and gel it up.
You'll see a lot more of that in the game as a whole. So, if you've ever seen any of the other Trauma Center games, especially Under the Knife and Second Opinion, they're kind of a bit repetitive in the sense of the general theme across the game is you do some normal surgery at the start, and then the anime comes in and it gets a bit absurd for the rest of the game. This game actually kind of varies it up a bit and adds a lot more diversity, I feel like, with, I guess, more normal ops sort of splashed out between the anime nonsense.
Yeah, the previous games, earlier on we had like basically simple operations, and then late on is basically only anime viruses, so to speak. This is more varied.
Yeah, so it's quite nice. I think this is probably my favorite Trauma Center like game as like a package, I guess. Like overall, I guess yours being the DS version of this.
Yeah,
because you prefer the DS games.
Yeah, I do the DS runs mostly, but though I do waggle a bit on the Wii as well. So yeah, this person got shot, so we're treating him. He got shot in the heart, right?
Yep.
Perfectly healthy. We can just cut it out, chuck the bullet out. And his heart stopped, so it's fine. We just continue on. All good. And this is the defibrillator. Leo needs to hit the green mark or the gray mark. You can think it as a 2-point system. If you hit a green, you get 2 points. If you hit a gray, you get 1 point, and the patient's heart starts running again once you get 2 points, essentially.
That is a really tight window. It's 1 frame per section, so a 3-frame window across the entire thing. And what makes it a lot harder as a whole isn't just the fact that it's a frame window, 'cause that's about 16 milliseconds, but more so the lead time on how many frames you sort of have leading up to it is what makes it hard to read. So, pretty tricky, but hopefully we can get some greens later down the line.
Oh yeah.
We do have another way to resuscitate the patient, which we'll get introduced to in Chapter 2, but for now it's just defibs. I think that's the only defib we have. Oh?
We will have a few more.
I mean, right now.
Oh, right now, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any more in Chapter 1.
Yeah.
So
you don't do that on 1.6, right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
You might have noticed when I picked the episode, there wasn't like 2 character cards, it was just Marcus. And that's because this is where we introduced to the anime nonsense of drawing stars. Now, unlike in Second Opinion, we don't actually get taught to draw stars. We just get thrown into it. There is like an extra tutorial thing that you can do. But you can see I didn't pick Marcus, it just launched me straight in. And that's because it exclusively introduces you to Marcus' Healing Touch. If you've played Second Opinion or any other games, it's going to be exactly like Derek's slowing down time, and you'll see that in a second once I grab all of these pins.
Yeah, these pins are fairly finicky, actually. You have to place them pretty spot on, because otherwise you'll just drop them and hurt the patient.
Yep. You'll see a star is drawn for me, and I'm just going to drain this, pop in the last chip, and then drain some blood.
Because if Leo didn't put in the last chip, the blood would keep spawning and spawning endlessly.
And that's why Marcus had to activate his Healing Touch.
Because he was not fast enough.
Yep.
You could say he was too slow.
Yeah. Okay. So we've now seen what Marcus' Healing Touch does, and we'll get introduced to Valerie's. This is the tutorial card. We're going to skip it, thankfully, and we don't have to draw stars. And we're just going to throw it back into another Tumors Op. This one's a bit more complicated as we now get introduced to inflammations. Where essentially we're going to have to poke some anti-inflammatory from the syringe, like via the syringe, on a really small hitbox. It might look big on stream. It is not. I think one thing we haven't really pointed out is like, we have a theory that this game was developed as a 4x3 game, and then they basically updated it halfway through to be like, oh, well, we can make it in 60x9, and they didn't quite update the control scheme for it, because the sensor, like cursor, moves around way too easily compared to other games in the series. I feel like even Trauma Team, it's kind of a bit less not responsive is the wrong word, but
yeah. And just notice, he didn't show like 1 dot on it and it was instantly a miss. That's just how small the hitboxes get. Yeah, these are the same tumors, just with more inflammations, and like Leo said, their hitboxes are a lot smaller than their size would make you believe. If each inflammation while we exist deals some passive DPS to the patient, so we want to take care of them as quickly as possible. If you are a bit slower than Leo, you might potentially need to boost, but I'm pretty sure Leo can handle this without boosting vitals for the patient.
We get the funny line from Marcus saying, what, the vitals are dropping?
Yeah, whenever vitals drop below 25, each doctor has a line where they say, hey, the vitals are low. I only think they do that once per operation though.
If it goes below 25 or 20, it will say it, but it has to go back up to like 50 for them to
Oh,
again.
okay.
It has to go back in the green, so
We generally won't hear it more than once per op.
Alright, so now we move on to a very spooky operation in terms of vitals. We're talking about vitals, and this is kind of a good segue into Valerie's Healing Touch and how what it actually does. So basically, Marcus can do Healing Touch. Valerie's studying him and some books to see if she can discover her own Healing Touch to essentially see if she can be a better doctor. So markers can slow down time, which is pretty cool, and I think during surgery that seems pretty useful. Valerie's is a bit more broken than that, which immediately isn't quite so obvious until you think about it, where her healing touch will just lock the vitals. They can't go up or down.
They can go up.
Nope, they can't go up. They're locked. You can't boost the patient's vitals once you pot HT.
Oh, shows how much Epilogue is good.
It does boost by 10 after it ends, but you can probably imagine having no damage come in at all is pretty strong. And we're going to basically demonstrate that with this op. It is pretty scripted, but it does kind of demonstrate it pretty well. So I'm going to need a little bit extra vitals.
So in this operation there are a bunch of these skin suborgan hemorrhages, don't know what we call it exactly in the game, where if you leave them for too long they just explode onto the patient, and we're operating on the heart, so Leo is just cutting them all out. When you cut them out we deal a bit of damage. We are on a good old 3 vitals, it's fine.
They'll drop down to 1, but if you're at 0, which it is possible, they will still live, as the vitals are a decimal or a floating point value.
Yeah. So as you can see, some explosions happen, but the vitals are still at 1. That's because Valerie's HT got automatically activated as this, like, the showcase of what it can do, I guess.
And we'll use that primarily for operations that have a lot of damage, for stuff that's just straight up not possible to kind of avoid, or it just takes too long to boost up the vitals. You'll see A1 here. We're going to skip over that. That is the like challenge operations. We're not going to do that as those are stupidly hard and don't actually contribute to the any percent category. Alright, so we're now into chapter 2. We're no longer in Alaska. We're in like Los Angeles, I think, or something like that. I don't know. Plot.
Who cares?
Alright, so while we load into this one, I think this is perfect time for as many messages that we have.
Thank you very much. We have a $5 donation saying, "Hey Leo, good luck on your runs today," from Flamey and Fearful.
Oh.
We also have a $10 donation from the donor name Doing Great, saying, "Good morning everyone, hope you all have a great day and remember to get breakfast." Just a reminder that our donations are going towards Make-A-Wish. A message from them is that Make-A-Wish grants the wishes of children living with critical illnesses. Children who are eligible for a wish are not necessarily terminal, and the majority of wish kids go on to manage and even overcome their illness. Back to you, Leo.
Thank you so much. Yeah, do keep those donations coming in. And you know what? I'm going to say it now. Leon has some puns that he hasn't filled me in on. So I'm going to recommend, if you have any puns, to join him in just surprising me with those.
Yes, puns are good.
Yep, agreed.
So this operation is fairly similar to one of the other tumor operations we've seen before, but the only complication is like this pus starts spawning after you take out the tumors, and pus can spawn more inflammations. If they stay for too long, that's why we used Healing Touch, that slow down time, to just make that not happen.
Yep.
And that's basically the operation.
Nice bandage. Yeah, that's literally the only reason why we use Marx's Healing Touch, is just to prevent some extra inflammation from spawning. It's like a safety measure. We're probably fast enough to not worry about it, but it's not worth the potential risk. And now we get to deal with another heart operation. We seem to just be heart specialists almost. How many ops do we do on the heart? Too many is the answer.
Say 5 or 6, I think?
It's something like that. Yeah, basically we're going to replace the pacemaker for this child, as it has started to, I guess, wear down a bit, not quite as effective as it used to be. But of course, the complication being is that if you take out a pacemaker from a heart, it might not behave itself, so we need to be pretty quick. And I'm going to do my best to try and skip a defibrillation or a fibrillation cycle, so I don't have to resuscitate the patient. Words are hard.
Yeah. One of them will be scripted to just show off the mechanic of not using the defibrillation, but like a heart massage kind of thing. It's also kind of whack in co-op.
Oh, yeah. So in co-op, this game has co-op mechanics, and for this, you do 2 like squeezes and then you switch them like over. It's like players switch over. It's really weird. So You say it says 1p. It would potentially change to player 2.
So now Leo is trying to hurry up and extract the pacemaker, enter a new pacemaker before a new fibrillation happens. You could potentially say that he's trying to make that pace.
Okay, I made it.
Yeah,
Even though I dropped one of the wires.
Yeah, when the beeps were starting, the non-scripted fibrillation was about to happen, but Leo just managed to make it into the scripted fibrillation sequence.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's fine.
Alright, that was a pretty sketchy op, but if you thought that this was bad, it gets worse in Chapter 3 for heart operations. It's kind of amusing like how many areas we work on as a surgeon, like, in this game. I feel like it's not normal to work on the brain and the heart. Like, that's not our job.
Yeah, we're surgeons of humans, TM.
Yeah, I guess. Alright. So we'll need to use Valerie for this op, as there's a lot of damage. Where we're gonna have to basically reconstruct the rib cage. I think it's from like a car accident. I know in UTK 2 it's from like a bomb going off or something.
Yeah.
There's so many like, it's basically, the reason why I reference UTK 2 is because it's the DS like version of this game essentially. There's a lot of similarities in operations.
Yeah, for the DS game they just took most of the operations and just changed the scenario essentially.
Yeah. Though it is like unique in itself to play separately from just New Blood. Has its own story and whatever else, which is really good, I feel like.
DS controls are very different from Wii controls, as you can probably imagine.
Yep.
Once again, defibrillator. And... nice. It's like a big wound, you need to drain it and close it up. And of course, organs explode, that's normal, we all know.
Given this is the spleen, it kind of makes sense, but also, yeah, lots of damage.
Yes. Leo's going to restructure the ribcage, I guess. Yeah. And after he's done restructuring the ribcage, he's going to buffer HT. Oh, after the defibrillator, he's going to buffer HT because a lot more explosions are going to happen. Yep. So we want the vitals to lock up so the patient doesn't die. Now the patient is mortal for roughly 15 seconds, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that. Pretty long.
Long enough to suture everything.
Yep. And just like that, all done.
Yep.
Sutures in this game are a bit wonky.
Perhaps while we load into the next hop, we have a message?
Yeah.
Yes, we have a $50 donation from Caramellman5 saying, well-meaning advice from a physician, using the healing touch on one of your patients might get you in trouble with your local medical council. However, since we're also speedrunning surgery, I don't think that's a concern here. This was put towards the inscription target of Appreciate Goosebert's art. Remember to put your donations towards any rewards or targets that we have. Appreciate Goosebert's art is now halfway towards its goal. We also do have a reward coming up for Octopath Traveler 2 right after this run, which is the voiceover language choice. You can choose with a $50 donation if the voiceover is going to be Japanese or English.
Nice, yeah, get those donations in.
Alright, so this operation is the start of anime nonsense, as we like to call it.
Yep, it begins, so first off we suture some stuff, and then suddenly there's going to be this weird looking thing that we call Stigma. This thing in particular is called Care.
Yeah. And we're operating on like a hospital's director who's doing like some research. He's trying to say that this can be used for like... Oh, he's not trying, he's brainwashed later. Okay, I don't remember the story.
The plot is kind of questionable in this game, let's be real. But yeah, he was like one of the few people who made this, as well as Marcus. Yes, Marcus was involved in anime nonsense. Yeah, we're gonna basically just tap it with the laser, because the logic this game applies is the first thing you do is try and laser it.
Right.
That doesn't work. Do something else, and then laser it.
Yeah.
I'm keeping Care off the organ here, so that it doesn't create a big set of cuts. So just tap the laser, and you'll notice the laser doesn't go down to yellow, because each tool does have, there we go, went down to yellow. They all have like durability. So it we have to be quite careful at certain points. Careful.
So because Marcus like helped in creating care and is now curing it, could you say he had a change of character?
Oh. Yes, I guess so. All right. I just wanted to prepare for the rest of the run.
Potentially, like stigmas are a bit easier to make puns on, so.
Okay, good. All right. I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of those. That was actually pretty good. It was terrible, but good.
Yeah, the more terrible, the better.
Yeah. If you think you can, outdo Leon on terrible puns, drop a donation.
I want some competition.
Every time that I go into like streams and stuff, and he joins my chat, you're always just dropping terrible memes and puns. I mean, I appreciate it. It keeps me company.
Yeah. Puns are life.
I can just see that apparently Tech just facepalm massively from that pun.
That brings me joy. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, we have probably one of the hardest early operations, like operations early in the game. There we go. Words are hard.
Yeah.
We have to do burns. I'm gonna select Valerie because the amount of damage is huge. And you'll see why this is agony very quickly. I'm gonna have to focus a little bit for this actually.
Right. So Leo needs to first inject like a fluid into like healthy skin to be able to cut it out and put it over the burned skin. The fun part is you can do that over and over in the same spot. That's why we call these parts of like the patient the skin factory, because you can just grab infinite amounts of skin, as you do in skin transplants, right? Just grab it from the same spot over and over again. So yeah, like Leo said, he used HT to lock vitals because just holding the scalpel hurts the patient little by little, and when you're cutting it also does like a bit of extra damage, so the patient would have taken a bunch of damage through all those cuts. And now the blackened burns need to be injected with like a coolant to be able to cut off like the top layer and put on our healthy, quote-unquote healthy skin membranes over them. So there were 12 burns. That is kinda funny because a late game operation under the knife 2 has total of 14 burns, and this is chapter 2. This is the beginning of the game. We just like to torture people.
Yep, my hand is not all too happy with that. Thankfully it's okay. I'll do some stretching actually while I have a bit of time into chapter 3. Because yeah, this game I can say with solid like experience. I've played this game for like nearly 3 years now, and the first time I played this, it was fun, except on my first run I only just managed to finish the full like segment, the full run. The second time I gave up. I got to chapter 6 and my hand was just gone. So if you do decide to play this game, please practice like a lot and make sure that you're comfortable with the controls, give yourself a lot of time and stretch a lot, because as a whole Trauma Center is really strenuous on your hands and on your, I guess, your mental fortitude as well.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I think you're doing XS and you're just like, I don't want to keep going, and then you kept going and still PB'd.
Speedrunning is a mental game.
Yep.
That's the mantra I keep saying. But yeah, what Leo said for hands and wrists, especially for me when playing the Wii games, you generally have to be careful to not get hurt.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your hands, it's important.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so I'm going to use Marcus Healing Touch very speedily. You can see the timer is 58. When this turns to 55, I'm going to pop HT. So I'm going to buffer it.
And he's buffering because...
Oh, it's a bit early, that's fine.
Yeah. There's like these stones coming out of...
the gallbladder.
Yeah. Forgot how this organ's called in English. Anyways, the organ gets just removed, heated out. We suture like the remainder where we cut it out, and we're done.
Yeah.
We did remove an organ in 8 seconds.
With Healing Touch, but normally they're still like 15 seconds without, so...
Yeah, that's how long surgeries take, right? 8 seconds. Sounds quite correct.
If I ever go into surgery and it's longer than 10 seconds, I'm going to be disappointed.
Of course.
Alright. So moving further into chapter 3, we now move on to 3-2. And I think this is just like a car crash accident, which we do as Marcus. I kind of get confused between this one and 4-2, which are both car crash accidents. But this one we just do as Marcus. We don't need the fancy vital lock for it.
Yeah, car crashes are generally a common cause of patience in these games.
I mean, given the fact we're playing a game called Trauma Center, does make sense.
Yeah.
Just a shame there's no other exciting things going on other than just car crashes repeatedly throughout the city, it seems. But nah, it's...
I mean, there was a bear attack. Do you not call that exciting?
I guess.
Anyways, we're moving on to the operation. There's these glass shards. These are not bones. We need to take them out, and we no longer need to put them back in the patient, thankfully.
God, could you imagine just putting those back in?
Yeah.
I mean, if you drop them, it just teleports back into where they came from, which is fun.
Yeah, if you just miss the
tray, yeah.
The tray, yeah, that's the word. So this one, I believe, doesn't have any subskin hemorrhages.
Yeah, that's right.
There are these like mini blood pools that can become big blood pools. I never had that really happen, but technically they can, and I think they do damage. They take quite a while, so in the speedrun we don't really care about that.
Yeah, we don't care. I've just seen a message in the chat from Trojan Rabbit, who he also runs Trauma Center, the DS runner primarily, and I can just see he says I'm going to be disappointed with the state of surgeries if I expect it to be that fast.
Alright, 3-3. There I say the worst operation in the series.
Oh, yep. I remember what this one is. Oh.
We'll be operating on a beating heart and have to place special membranes, which coincidentally looks like normal membranes on the heart.
Yep.
In like a specific turn rotation.
And timing.
We never mentioned them. You rotate stuff with the remote. It's horrible.
It's terrible, yeah. Hi, Trojan. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna place some hard patches on some occlusions. Now, casually, I didn't realize you could just use the healing touch for this. My brain didn't quite comprehend that. I'm not going to use the healing touch here because I'm going to try and be fast. I will potentially reset the op if it is really rough because the defib's gonna cause more problems.
First you have to like gel like this little thing.
It should be fine actually.
Yeah. And then you have to place them just after the line lines up the membrane, a little bit late. And if you miss it, the patient goes into cardiac arrest and you have to resuscitate them.
I like how it's just an immediate cardiac arrest. It's not even like oh, the vials dropped. No, it's just you're flatlining immediately.
Yeah. We touch the heart, it stops.
Alright. Now we get to introduce into the next stigma string, which is Soma. Now, interesting enough, each like strain of Soma has like a strain of Stigma. Well, it's a hard. They all have like a meaning to go with them. So Care was like a finger or like nail.
Finger, hand, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It gets a bit confusing because
it's Greek.
There's lots of similar ones.
I think, right?
Somebody can probably correct me in chat.
Yeah.
But Soma is body, and it's probably the most boring operation as a whole. I'm gonna try and make it more interesting with a fast strat.
Oh yeah.
See if that works out.
Yeah, Soma is basically just a cloud, I guess.
Yeah, it's cotton candy. We just drink.
Cotton candy, fair enough. We'll go with cotton candy, that just travels around your liver in this case. You need to drain it for a bit and just convulses for a little bit, and then you need to laser it. And then repeat that 4 times, I think. 5?
4 or 5. I lose track. Like, this thing is so boring. We just drain over and over.
It sometimes makes these little red tumors, but we laser them. And second hit onward, it just spawns these little blue things that you need to drain. I think Atlas expected the players to initially drain the things and then laser Soma, extending the operation. That's at least what I did casually, which is painful. You just laser this. Just because this operation is so long, you could say it makes you so mad. Play Soma.
Yeah, I guess. that was a stretch.
That was a stretch. Sorry, some of the Stigma names don't really lend themselves to many puns. Yeah, now there's 2 clouds, one of them is fake.
This might be close.
Yeah. So what Leo's trying to do, the fake cloud spawns 4 of these, and if he HDs and kills like the core fast enough, the 4 extra blue things, whatever they are, I don't even know what they are,
Just like
wouldn't have
mats,
spawned. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you didn't quite get the fast strat, but that's okay. It's very kind of dependent on the timing of those small tumors and how everything lines up. So if you don't quite get it, it's more so just because of how everything's timed out. It's a lot easier to do on normal. Easy, you can just basically do it for free.
Oh yeah.
I think on hard, it's nearly impossible off the top of my head. Because on hard, everything is a lot, like, timing-wise, is a lot closer. And we will actually use that to our advantage later on. We will swap over to hard to make some operations a bit quicker. you saw the message,
Yeah, I
right?
saw the message.
Okay, chat's asking for Remilia and Flandre to be removed from the bags. For the patient's safety, apparently.
Yes.
I don't need to pick Valerie, but I'm going to pick Valerie anyway.
Yeah.
No, I do need to pick Valerie. I was like, wait, I know which hop I'm on. I know why I picked this.
You know what you're doing.
Do I?
I'd hope so. So, this is the first aneurysm op. You inject like, I don't know what they're calling sedative, I guess?
Sedative, yeah.
Yeah, into the aneurysm, cut them out, drain the blood, and take them out, and close the blood vessels. If you leave the aneurysms for too long, if you can't deal with them, they explode. Fun.
I didn't suture that, whoops.
Yeah. And when exploding, they deal damage. You can potentially start making some connections as to why we're picking Valerie.
Haha, connections.
Yes. So, right now a new wave will spawn. With a bunch of aneurysms, Leo's just going to focus on treating 4 of them out of the 5, I think, and let one explode, because fast.
Just 3.
3? Oh,
It's because the other 2 spawn in now.
okay. Oh, right. So yeah, one of the aneurysms exploded. We would have dealt like 15 to 20 damage, I think, but since we were under the healing touch, it was fine. And the last blood vessel was under the two circle, I guess, so it's kind of hard to see, but moving the camera is slow.
Yeah. Camera in this game is a bit weird. If you're used to second opinion where you zoom out and back in, it's kind of confusing, but you do get adjusted to it. We're now moving into Chapter 4, where the game actually gets a lot more interesting, as pretty much every op here is going to rely on Valerie's healing touch. The first op won't. We're still going to use Marcus, and that's for that inflammation and pus on the organ. But every other operation we're going to use Valerie for, because there's a lot of damage about to come in.
Yeah.
Not quite as much damage as episode, or Chapter 6, I guess.
Oh yeah, especially the last 2 Chapter 6 ops, but that's
later down the line.
Yeah.
We'll get there. So we've got 2 appendectomies to do.
Yes. We're also committing insurance fraud.
Oh yeah, that's fun. This entire chapter is kind of questionable in terms of ethics as a whole.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, we do surgery on a very rich kid, and he's complaining that his surgery isn't expensive enough. God, imagine having rich people problems like that. It's like, I have too much money. Help me.
Yeah.
If you have too much money, donate it to Make-A-Wish.
Yeah. So this first operation on a rich kid was simple. It's just inject the appendix, cut it out, and place a membrane. We're done.
Yeah.
That was the non-rich kid, and you can see it's a bit more complicated. So we use the HD once again to avoid spawning some extra inflammations as Leo injects the appendix. We cut it out, more pus spawns, but then Leo only needs to deal with the wonky small hitboxes of the inflammations. And they're not nearly as easy to hit as Leo's making it appear. Because I have certainly killed a patient while trying to inject these inflammations before. Hitboxes are tiny.
Okay, we got that. That was a little bit sketchy.
Yeah. Fun part. You can still kill the patient while you're placing the bandage.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen ever on this run. Yeah. I've done that quite a few times in the past. Never again.
Yeah, I feel like every trauma center runner has had that happen.
It's just a rite of passage at this point. If
Yeah.
you run trauma center at this point, if you haven't killed a patient with a bandage, you will at some point.
On?
Hon? I think she says hontoni, like that.
Really? Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna have a quick sip of your water. So, I think the plot for this is like they're going to a conference to learn about more surgery stuff and they're very excited for it. Only to find out it's like for surgery on dogs and animals.
Yeah.
Which actually does come in clutch later on.
Yeah, veterinary conference.
Yeah, it's a veterinary conference instead of, a normal surgeon's conference. And they're greatly disappointed. But on the way back, they get interrupted on their drive with an accident.
What a surprise. A car crash.
Alright. So we're going to need to use Valerie for this. Get the words out. As we need to stop a lot of vitals.
Fun thing to mention, we're doing this operation on the side of a road.
Oh yeah, this isn't in like a sterile room or anything. And they call this first aid.
Yes, this is first aid, guys. Remember, that's how you do first aid.
Opening up the patient.
Yes. So your first aid kit must contain a scalpel. So we're suturing up all the common wounds, and once we are allowed to move around in the patient, Leo is using HD again to lock up the patient's vital, because this patient has some exploding hemorrhages under his skin that we want to cut out before they explode because it's just faster. And cutting them out deals like 5 damage. We are at 14 vitals, you can do the math, patient would die, and that is why this HD is very vital.
It just gets worse. It just gets worse over time.
I mean, what do you expect? You asked me to do this.
Yeah, I did kind of walk myself into this, didn't I?
Yes.
Alright. sorry. Just in.
Yes, you do first aid it by opening the chest cavity, of course.
It's also the comment that goes after it. Anyway, okay. So this one is a bit questionable, like ethically, because they broadcast surgery live on TV. On Wish Come True Miracle Surgery, which is a bit questionable. And I hope that this has no relation, like they didn't purposely do this, like considering Make-A-Wish. That's a bit,
No. So yeah, but in universe, patients who cannot afford surgery, this is based in America, so it can happen.
Yep.
Can come on live TV to be broadcasted nationwide, being operated on, so they would get the operation for free.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. And of course, we as doctors are like, that's bad. We don't like that, which I think is pretty understandable. And so we challenged them to do surgery on their show.
Yes.
So
I think we were like bad-mouthed on the show, like we're wasting dollars or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Something like that.
So,
but it's kind of ironic. They go on live TV to do surgery because they don't like the live TV on surgery.
Yes.
While I'm doing surgery live to an audience. It comes full circle. Anyway, we picked Valerie. There's a lot of damage coming in for this operation.
So yeah, this patient has a lot of tumors on his stomach. And by a lot, we mean a lot.
Oh yeah, I miscount on how many they have.
It's like 10, 11, something like that.
Sad, yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, we treat like 3 tumors, then a bunch of blood spawns. We're not treating it right now. Leo's cutting out 2 tumors, and as soon as he reveals the 4th tumor, our drain will break.
No, it's when you scalpel it. But
It was 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can't count. You're right.
Okay.
This is why I don't do maths.
Maths are hard. So basically our drain broke, and we just kind of have to wait a bit until the drain comes back. We can't really do anything besides cutting out the tumors behind the blood pools. As you can probably imagine, we cover like half the screen. Here comes the drain. Here comes the fibrillation.
Alright, this is fine.
Are you sure is this fine?
Well, no. It's not. Turns out it was not fine.
So this is what happens when vitals hit 0.
Now you know. Anyway, fortunately this is a relatively quick op to redo. And this is why I included a bit more time in my estimate.
Yeah. So the reason that happened is when fibrillation starts to occur, you cannot do anything, boost vitals, operate, because if you do, you will hurt the patient by like 5 vitals or something per each click.
Yep.
And you would kill the patient. So Leo needs to have enough vitals before the fibrillation occurs to survive resuscitating the patient. So once again, he takes care of 3 tumors and cuts out the 4th, and our drain breaks. He's going to be cutting out the rest of the tumors and boosting vitals to make sure the patient doesn't die this time around.
I like how you said that right where I wasn't doing that.
It's fine. I know you know what you're doing, usually.
Okay, the vital should be considerably higher this time.
Yeah. I believe fibrillation is a bit on a random time.
Ever so slightly. There's like a bit of variation in how long you have.
So yeah, Leo's
There
at
we go.
43 vitals, he's completely fine. It does take a while to happen.
There we go.
And yeah, we do a heart massage this time. I don't remember why, honestly.
Yeah, the heart stops.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
why
but
we-
why not the defib?
I don't know. It's because
Yeah.
we're already in their cavity, I guess.
I guess.
That sounds so weird to say out loud.
It's fine. I'm sure every medical professional watching this agrees with everything we're doing.
Oh, of course. Actually, there is a nurse in the room, I think.
So yeah, while HT is running out, you just dealt with everything and the patient's fine. Doesn't matter if you stab him, burn him or anything, he's still fine.
Still good.
Yeah.
So I saw a question about why we don't use the healing touch, and you'll probably see why we use the healing touch then and not earlier on, as to sort of how it works.
Yeah. One quirk with Valerie's HT is because if you use HT and lock vitals and when a fibrillation occurs, the vitals still go down to the 10
It's around
base.
10, yeah. And then it's locked there. You can't boost them back up. So it's kind of a weird mechanic, and you get stuck there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thankfully, only one death. You know, I was kind of expecting one somewhere along the way.
It's fine. We have spare patients.
Was I supposed to do this off on hard? I think I was.
Were you? No, I think you're chapter 5 on hard, right?
No, it includes this op as well, I think, because we gotta do some weird timing. Either way, I'm not about to restart the,
No?
we're on 4-4.
At least your splits don't say so.
We're on 4-4.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm blind. That is fine.
It's fine, the timing still works out very similar. In fact, I probably can do a little bit more. The reason why we used to at least pick hard, I think Reki doesn't use hard, but we used to use hard just because the timing for everything was a bit shorter. But if you just optimize how you, that's fine.
Can enjoy the cheering of the crowd in the game after you clear out aneurysms. So yeah, the big aneurysms require a lot more sedative. They also have 3 blood vessels connected to them, so we have to put in like an artificial blood vessel, which you have to rotate with your wrist, and it's fairly finicky.
Yep.
Not a fun experience. We let as many aneurysms explode as possible because
let that burst.
injecting sedative is very slow, and you can see how finicky these artificial blood vessels are.
It bled again. Yeah, so normally on hard that timing is a bit tighter and I don't have to wait quite as long.
Yeah. So, in universe, this will be the last operation on Live TV, I believe.
Yeah, I would hope so. We've had enough of that.
Or
we got one more.
Wait. Oh, right.
It's also on live TV.
You could say I did an oops.
It gets worse. It really does. Anyway, so we do more malpractice on TV as we do Ops, which is another strain of Stigma. And yes, I did an oops.
Indeed, we both did an oops. You asked for it.
I know. I cannot be disappointed. But yeah, so basically Ops does require a bit of a risky strat to be Sanic fast.
Oh yeah, the other surgeon was foaming at the mouth, that's normal.
Yep. This is where I point out that his name is also Leo, or Leonardo.
Yeah, you're not foaming at the mouth, so that's good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, we're going to use Valerie as we need to stop more vitals from going out. Something.
Decreasing.
That's the one.
Yes.
Anyway, we're gonna use the laser because, you know, logic being is just laser something and it will eventually die.
So this strain of Stigma, to the side there's like 2 blasters that shoot nutrients, I believe they call in game.
Yeah.
Not sure how, but okay, sometimes the tumor spawns, and if a nutrient hits the main body we're lasering, the tumors explode. Because, sure, that's how it works. So as soon as Leo deals like 3 or 4 hits, he needs to use Valor's HD because Ops splits up, and tracking everything between the 2 cores is very hard. Many explosions happen, but we lock vitals and it's completely fine.
Yep, so it's just now just a case of lasering things over and over and over and over.
I don't think we even mentioned the tools can run out if you use too much, as we did just with the laser.
Yep.
Now we defeated the Ops, and Ops became obsolete.
Oh. Oh, gosh. Ugh.
I'm glad you're having fun.
I'm just speechless. Like,
I'm glad you're having fun.
the crowd is happy.
Yeah.
They're cheering. Anyway, okay, it's time for some more normal surgery. Well, we go to a hockey game, and one of the hockey players gets
Hockey stick?
Yeah, into like bicep. So we need to remove those and then reconnect the ligaments, I think.
Also fun to mention, we're also in this operation using anesthesia that's not been medically tested because that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't remember the reason for it, but it's just like, yeah, the patient will control.
This guy, not this guy, this one, he
the
developed the anesthesia and it's like, yeah, this is good, use it, why not?
Do a quick medical trial for me without actually...
Being in a medical facility. I guess we transfer him, right?
I guess.
I don't remember.
We
do surgery in all random places, so
I lose track of like how upset everything gets because it's all just so absurd. Anyway, we're gonna basically just use Marx's HT to ignore the convulsions that will happen.
Yeah. So because of an anesthesia, the patient will sometimes get convulsions. So we pull out the stick, clear it up, connect the ligaments because you just slam them together and they just stay connected. These are way worse on the DS version. I have to mention that. I hate them. I couldn't help it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But on the Wii, they're fairly lenient hitboxes.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to be precise with the Wiimote in the same way. I mean, I know I am being pretty precise, but from a character perspective,
later on in the story, we complained to like the guy who made the anesthesia. It's like, stupid.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Smiley face. Passive aggressive.
Yes.
Alright, so now we got some more liver operations, I think. So, on the first one, I feel like the second one's very, very similar with a slight sort of adjustment on how we do it. So we are operating on one of the characters' brother?
Brother, yes.
Yeah.
And his liver is burst?
Yeah, it's not doing too hot. You'll very quickly see why.
Yeah, I don't know. Medical terms, burst is obviously a medically accurate term, of course.
Of course.
Yes.
And as you'll see, it's that's a lot of blood.
I mean, you're supposed to have blood inside.
That's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, looks perfectly fine to me.
Alright, there's the green on the last one, of course.
Yeah, so the idea is, since the liver's burst, we just slap a bunch of membranes and slap antibiotic gel and he's fine, and cut it out, hopefully before the fibrillation happens. And he should be fine, right?
Right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks
Wrong.
good. Oh, why'd you spoil the game, Leo?
Okay, since we're basically loading into the exact same op, if we have any messages, this is the perfect time to add anything while we load in.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say that I absolutely do not want my surgeon ever to say like, oh, it's fine, we have spare patients. Please stop that. We have a $10 donation from Cathal saying, hi Leo, I heard a request for shitty puns, so here goes. The doctor told a patient, you have acute appendicitis. The patient replied, is that better than an ugly one? Good luck on the rest of this highly accurate medical simulator. We also have a $20 donation from Limi saying, Hey Leo, I think my cheese was stolen. You haven't by any chance seen a little mouse run around with it?
That will make a lot more sense in a minute.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I did not get this one. That's going towards the inscription target of Appreciate Goosebert's art.
Nice. Yeah, that will make a lot of sense in a second. I might not make the cycle. Let's see. Do I get lucky?
Sketchy.
I got lucky. The game did not actually activate the defib. So there's a random chance of when that actually happens.
Yeah. So we did this operation a second time, basically in the same way. So he's surely fine now.
He should be, yeah. It's unfortunately we get kidnapped.
As you do.
As doctors, yeah, as you do. But yeah, no, we so you mentioned the cheese, Levi, in that donation. There will be a new form of stigma, and he has cursed me with the knowledge that it looks like a mouse with a piece of cheese. So let's see how accurate that is in just a moment when we load into this operation. I did choose hard.
You did?
Yeah, okay, good,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I would have mentioned.
This section is a bit faster. So, but yeah, we'll basically have a little thing that has a block of cheese, I guess. I don't quite see the resemblance, I will be honest.
Yeah, it's Onyx, represented by the claw. That's the only one I actually remember.
Yep.
Oh,
It's
no.
good they explicitly say it.
Yeah. Oh, I do remember the last one as well.
Yeah, Marcus is like, the claw. It's like, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so we're gonna basically play hide and seek. I'm gonna have to keep my eyes out for this mouse with cheese. He has 4 little dots on his head, and that's how I know where he is. And we're gonna use the ultrasound to find him. I'm gonna listen for the music to see if I can find him quick. Oh, hello? There we go. I missed him.
Once Leo locates the Stigma...
There we go. Yeah, apparently here's the mouse with the cheese.
Yeah.
He's just running around with his little cheese in his tail. God, okay. I can't unsee it now.
Yeah.
Look how fast he is. And basically we look for the 4 dots and then we give it a little poke and else we cut it out. If we leave it too long, it will just create 5 cuts. And that does a lot of damage.
So Leo, I have a little quiz for you.
Yep, go on.
Which Stigma would be the social media user if you had to pick?
Oh, I already know, go on.
It would be Onyx because it's on X.
This okay. Can we get some more worse puns than these? Not better puns.
Oh, what do you mean? Better puns are worse puns. That's how it works.
I guess. Oh god, these are bad. Okay, we got more of a normal operation, except the gel is gonna be limited, and we don't have stabilizer. Do we have stabilizer?
No.
No. Okay, that's what makes this all hard. I don't remember though. Anyway, basically, this guy got shot with a shotgun. Everyone else was mad at him, so they just blasted him, which is a bit rude. And we're gonna have to heal him up.
We didn't even get asked to heal him up. We had to ask to heal him.
Yeah, because we're doctors.
Yes.
So yeah, we're on hard. We did that because Onyx is faster on hard, and then we just stay on hard because there's 2 Onyx ops in close succession.
Yeah, and this operation doesn't get really changed by being on hard. I mean, casually you take more damage, but like...
It's not really worth the time difference. Alright, so yeah, we got four shotgun pellets in here.
You cut them out, take the shotgun pellet out, and slap a membrane. Joe is limited, but like, we're not even going to go into yellow.
Yep, we don't even notice. And we don't even gel the bandage. So normally you would gel the bandage, like before the bandage. We haven't been, and we just get a bad because we don't care about score.
Who needs disinfecting the wounds?
It's the wards problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's time for more cheese on another mouse.
So I guess we haven't really explained the Onyx mechanics.
No, so essentially when it spawns in, we have to find it. And then when we cut it out and inject it for the first time, it's then going to start moving around. And you'll see it sort of runs around and then suddenly it burrows back into the organ. And it will try and find somewhere to hide. We can see where it goes if we keep ultrasounding. And we're looking for the one that has 4 dots on its head. The ones that have 3 dots are all fake. And so we just find that one with the 4 dots, cut it out and inject it. And repeat until it's dead. That does actually change in this operation though, as it gets a bit trickier. or easier, actually, now that I think about it. It's
Depends on how you look at it.
It's supposed to be trickier, but it's not. I would say it's actually much easier because essentially Onyx doesn't then hide anymore in this section. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So we'll load in. We need to find Onyx. There it is.
Stem music doesn't change because it's not the first time we see it, so we're not as surprised, I guess.
You can see it burrows in, and it shows where sort of the direction it's going. I just have to find it along that line. It's then going to burrow again. I need to find it here, and then we'll do that one more time, and then we'll get the webbing. The webbing reduces the vitals by a noticeable amount. And you'll see that come through now. But now I don't have to ultrasound. I can just pan the camera and find Onyx without even having to look around.
Yeah, it's just trying to hide in the forest, but not very successfully.
Yeah. And just like that, it's dead.
The cheese is ours.
We stole the cheese back. Alright, so that's now Onyx, and we don't deal with Onyx much more. I'm gonna stay on hard, as we also oh no, the mask came off the room. Oh no.
In an operating feature.
She's not sterile. That's fine. Anyway, that's fine. She'll just
It'll be
chill.
fine.
So we're now gonna basically the people who kidnapped us have had enough. They're gonna just throw us into this well and fill it up with water.
Yeah, we saved too many people.
Yeah, we're too busy being doctors. So we stay on hard as there are less turns to the solution for a puzzle coming up, because it wouldn't be Trauma Center without a puzzle.
Of course. Why wouldn't we operate on an inanimate object?
Yeah, that's true.
So we're basically put in a hole, locked by a metal grate and a children's toy.
Yeah.
Perfect choice.
The fact that they use a children's toy here is kind of just like, they want us to escape.
Yeah.
Look at that. I guess it kind of makes sense, but it's also kind of weird. Anyway, we have a child's puzzle to solve. Let's see if I can solve this.
The good old Hyperlock 3000. You have to turn these like little thingies.
Come on. Hey.
Oh, rotation is hard.
Rotation is very hard. Ah, come on. It does like 90-degree snaps, and it's if it doesn't turn, it's kind of awkward.
So the reason we picked hard is because on hard, when you turn certain parts of this, extra parts of the puzzle also get turned. So in total, there's like less turns, so it's faster that way. And since we already know the solution, we don't care about like the complexity of one part turning other parts.
Yeah, we just calculate which ones turn. And then I'm going to go back down to normal as we move on to the next Stigma strain. As I do not want to do this one hard. It sucks.
Oh yeah, that's the fun one.
You couldn't figure out a pun for this one, could you? Or did you figure out one?
Not really, no.
That sounds like you might have one, but it's so bad you're not even willing to try it.
It's not really a pun at that point. It doesn't really follow the name. The name's Breachon.
Yeah, Breachon, yeah.
Go ahead and beat me, donate a pun, please. Help
yeah,
me.
if you think of a pun for Breachon, please.
Is it Breachon or Brachion?
I always call it Breachon.
Oh, what is it called? Brachion.
Interesting.
Interesting.
That's always fun when you realize that since you've been saying a word wrong entirely for ever since you've known that word.
Yeah. I guess that shows how much we listen to the dialogue of the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same as what we had with Alethea and Alethea.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
How you pronounce each one.
But here we actually have voice acting to confirm. We just don't remember.
Yeah. How do you spell it? Brachion. I think.
Yeah, so Breachon is this thing with tentacles, I guess?
Yeah, grapplers.
Filled with light bulbs that travel to the end of it. When we reach the end, we do damage, or if there's no grappler, I guess we call it, then it respawns all the grapplers.
Yeah, that sucks. We don't want that to happen.
To avoid that from happening, we can pinch out some of the light bulbs, and once the light reaches the pinched light bulb, it would reset to the very beginning. And if you pinch out the part where the light bulb is on, it will even get stunned for a little while. You didn't pinch.
Thank you. You see I waited there just so I don't have to inject extra.
Yeah. So Breachon has 4 HP, you have to do this 4 times. 2 with 3 tendrils, tentacles, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. And 2 with 4 of them. So this should be the last hit if I actually count it properly.
Yep.
This is just the worst casualty. This is when you start feeling that the game might not have been made with single-player gameplay in mind. Since despite how fast Leo does it, when you're first playing the game, you're not nearly as accurate or as fast as he is.
Oh, it's terrible. I remember doing this casually and I was like, oh, please.
This is where when I first played, I had to swap to easy because, like, couldn't keep up with the light bulbs.
Yep. Alright, and now we move on to, I think it's Viennese fever, I think is what they call it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's, interesting.
It's a normal fever, right?
Yeah, it's totally a normal fever. Totally. So basically we're gonna have some tumors that flash red and blue, and we have to drain them while they're blue, and then cut them out and remove them while they're all still blue. So I'm gonna do things in a very particular order, and I'm not going to use the healing touch. So basically, before I started running this game, this op was always done with healing touch to make things a bit more consistent. Except I found out if you just go stupidly fast, you don't need the healing touch anymore. So we're gonna do that instead, as it's way more interesting.
Yes.
So I'm gonna focus to cut these out properly.
Yeah, so basically, like Leo said, this is like red light, just with green replaced with blue.
Yep.
The tumor edition. I generally still use HT because you have to be super fast to not mess up anything on like non-healing touch. Even the cutout tumors continue swapping colors. And after he cuts out the tumor, he only needs to place the membrane.
That was
Fortunately, one of the tumors turned red, so he had to wait for a bit.
yeah, it's a little bit fumbly, but you know that's fine.
Yeah, that's how fevers look like in this game.
Apparently so. Alright. So yeah, we didn't actually point out the fact that we're now in a whole different country, why everything looks so different, and why we're just doing surgery elsewhere.
Oh yeah, we're like medical relief doctors in like almost an active war zone. It's like a civil war or something.
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember.
Yeah, and basically we're trying to figure out where is Stigma coming from, because apparently there's an outbreak here as well at some point. So yeah, we're gonna have a look, and of course we now have to deal with 3 patients of Stigma in one operation. And that's not even the worst of it. Like, this is just the start of multi-patient operations in this game.
Chapter 6 just ramps up everything to 15.
Yeah, it's rough. This is where your hands will give out if you're trying to run this game for the first time. It requires a lot of practice. I'm gonna make sure to pick Valerie as I need it for ops.
Yep, there will be 3 patients, 1 stigma each, I believe.
Yep.
No multi-stigma per patient just yet.
Yeah, just yet.
Just yet. Of course, they put in Soma when they don't know what to put in, because why not?
It's so boring. It's that you just watch the thing move across the screen.
It's also extra fun when you're playing casually. You feel like a later patient and then you go back to this thing.
Oh, don't remind me. I redid this op, I think, 2 or 3 times in my first ever attempt.
Yes.
And it was, yeah, basically you ended up having to redo the entire operation. You don't go back to the patient you were on. You have to redo the entire operation as a whole. So you end up just coming back to Soma and just losing your mind to this.
Yeah, and then you accidentally kill the patient because you were absolutely not paying attention, and then you do it again.
Yep. It's pretty mundane. I have Breachon after this as well, which is also not fun.
But you could make it funner by giving me a pun.
I think I saw 1 pun in chat at some point. Right, so this should be the last hit. Yeah, it is.
So next up is going to be Breachon.
Yeah.
We really put all the auto-scrollery stigmas into this.
Now that you mention it, yeah, it's a very boring operation in terms of what you're doing.
Yeah, so once again, this is going to be 3 tendrils each. Leo just waited out while the light bulb hit the tendril, because if he took out the tendril before the light bulb hit, and then it hit afterwards, it would have respawned all the thingies, and we do not want all the thingies to respawn.
Another thing is if I inject it while if I'm injecting when the light reaches it, it loses progress on the injection. So it goes back to an active tendril instead of being deactivated where I can cut it out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's the main reason.
Okay, that looked a bit sketchy, but you're fine. Nice in another way, you could say.
Yep.
So this is the last hit, and we'll be finally out of Breachon, thankfully. It's annoying how they like make one of the tendrils free light bulb long, because it makes you constantly look at it.
Yeah. So basically, ideally for Breachon, you want to start on the longer tendrils first, then move to the shorter ones last. The vital damage isn't too bad if you sort of just keep on top of it. But yeah, there I did the shorter one mostly just by accident. It was just a working round. But then we move on to Ops. And so a fun thing about Ops is I do the HT strat where I pop HT as it splits, right? And the problem with that is if the tumor spawns right as I'm doing something, and okay, it's fine. I'm playing a bit safer. If I am in the middle of... This is a bit sketch.
Yeah, the laser is about to run out, so...
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to get
You
rid
would-
of... That's fine. Okay, so the reason why I'm playing this extra safe is because this is a multi-patient op. Because if there's any tumors on screen and they get hit before Healing Touch activates, I still take the damage. Even when the HT is active, the game has registered the fact that the patient should be taking damage. And if there's enough big tumors on screen, like those star ones, it will still kill the patient, even if HT is active. I've had that happen too many times at this point where I now play this pretty safe. That was okay.
Yeah.
Still a bit sketch, but...
If there are more tumors on the screen, then that would be just dead.
Yeah,
Back to Soma we go.
Yeah, exactly. 2 is... You can just about survive it, but any more than 2, it's so dangerous. Thankfully, during that HT section, can't take any damage, and the way the tumors sort of work out is they'll normally get burst before it can really do much. And then move on to a fun operation. Everyone get your Frank Zeds and your all my dogs in the chat, and any other dog-related emotes. Because the dog is here.
Are we
we've
saving
seen
the animals, Leo?
Yes, we will be saving the animals. But yeah, I've seen the chat is pretty excited about seeing the dog. And now I get very sad as the dog is about to be shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, get your dog emotes in chat. Don't worry, I'll save the dog.
I'm looking at you. You better.
I'm saving the dog.
Okay. Don't kill it.
There, see, sad Pepita.
Yes, Pepita is the dog.
Yes.
That was given to us to guard us in an active war zone, essentially.
Yeah, she's is like a gift to us.
Yeah, we did just randomly gift us a dog without like, do you want a dog? No, take the dog. So yeah, we had to defibrillate the dog, and because it's a dog, we need a different charge, I guess. I think that's what we said. So that's why the defibrillator zone where you need to hit it is like very close to the start. This is
good RNG.
Yeah. So what Leo meant by good RNG, the defibrillation was happening, but it can pass, and that's RNG. Heard the beep 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 beep, and it can either fibrillate or not, and we were lucky. The doggo is saved. As soon as Leo doesn't fail the fibrillation.
How'd you say that?
Yeah. It's very awkward to hit that starting
segment.
part.
It runs slower than the normal defib, and it's way earlier on. But yeah, don't worry, we saved the dog.
Dog is fine. We even got an S rank.
Yeah, that's a bit unusual.
Oh yeah, 6-5.
Ah, right. So this is the op that I like to call this. That's a lot of damage because it's a lot of damage. You'll see very quickly. One, it's gonna be a lot of damage to my wrists, but also this is 5 patients, and because we're in an active war zone, we now need to do surgery on 5 patients, and it starts off with burns, which is already not great for your wrists, and then it just kind of progressively gets worse throughout the entire like operation. So I'm preparing myself
it's also fun to point out, this burns is basically the same burns operation as we had in Chapter 2. You were given 5 minutes for that single burns operation. You're currently given 10 minutes for burns plus 4 other operations.
Yep.
It's like, you better have gotten better. It starts with defibrillation, and we're going to go on to the skin factory now. Just injecting the whatever fluids they call it, I don't remember.
The culture, yeah.
Culture, yes. Activate HD because cutting deals a lot of damage. And Leo actually puts the membranes on specific burns because there's like a bleed timer in each of them, and some of them bleed later than others. And if you have membrane on a burn when it bleeds, the membranes just fall off and disappear, and you need to make new membranes, hence the time loss.
Additionally, one of them will worsen to a black burn, which takes a lot longer to deal with, and that's the main reason.
Yeah, that is also true. So there are 12 total burns, so we do it in 4 segments essentially, because we only have enough skin to treat 3 burns per skin factory rotation, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Medically accurate terms, of course. You didn't inject.
I haven't injected this?
Yeah.
Oh, I am a fool. I thought I'd done it. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm sitting there trying to scalp it like an idiot. I'll try and grab it
you were
off.
just trying to scrape it off with the force.
Oh.
Yeah, so this guy got shot. We just put a bunch of membranes and opened him up, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at that tasty chain. 206.
That's not gonna last long.
No.
So yeah, we take out a rifle round. There's some shotgun pellets in there, hidden behind the blood pools. You can barely even see them as Leo takes them out, but they are there, trust me. So just put on all the membranes and we're okay.
Alright, that chain is now going to disappear as I'm going to do a bad bandage.
Yes. To get a good bandage, you need to disinfect the wound, but that's slow. So yeah, bye-bye chain. So this is one of the explodey guys, I believe.
Yep.
Yes.
I should have done a boost. I'll do that now, actually.
Yeah. Since we already used Valerie's HD, we cannot use it again. It's only 1 per
Like, operation as a whole, not just
episode, I guess. Yeah. Per 5-person operation, you only have 1 HD, so you better use it where you like it. There's some hemorrhages under the skin that we want to cut out. Take some damage, but we're a-okay, especially with the extra boost.
I didn't even need that boost.
Yeah, 1 full syringe of boost is like 12.5 vitals, and you didn't even do like a full syringe, so you would have been fine, but safety.
Play it safe, yeah.
Yeah. This guy has his rib exploded, because ribs explode.
Yep.
Once again, we'll take out bones and his organ just explodes more. Are you fine? Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, I forgot the last bone doesn't cause an explosion, so yeah. One thing to take note of is dropping a bone deals like 10 damage, but he has 11 vitals, so he should be completely fine. Once again, we took out the bones outside of the patient.
And put them back in.
Yes, because that's how you restructure bones.
And this last patient is very spooky. I'm going to be very, very careful. I don't have Valerie's Healing Touch here to keep me safe.
Yeah, so this patient... Yeah, this patient is basically... We're operating on the heart again, because of course we do. And there's a lot of those subskin hemorrhages that explode. Leo is just like dealing with them as fast as he can. We let some of them explode because it's just faster to boost a little bit than to cut them out. And we deal with like tiny blood pools, I still don't know what they're called, by gelling, and we're fine.
I played that a lot safer, and normally I could be quicker on that. If you're letting them burst, does more damage than cutting them out. Not by much, but it's noticeable that if you're a bit quicker. But in that case, I always played it very safe, and that was still very fast.
I just saw the Trojan message in chat. Half of the actions are just encounter the exploding organs, and that is true.
Yep. Right. So if that operation wasn't enough, it's then going to get more stupid as we have to do a double liver transplant.
From 1 liver.
Yes. So we split the liver in half and put it into 2 patients. Except it's not just any old transplant.
Oh yeah.
It has Stigma.
Why would it be a normal transplant?
Of course, this guy has got Stigma in his liver. So I'm going to have to be pretty careful and basically deal with Stigma while also doing the transplant. And we'll do that as best as I can. I'm going to use Marcus here as we need that for the second patient. But as we kind of said, Chapter 6 really ramps up the difficulty of everything just being thrown at you. You don't have much time to breathe and sort of process what's going on. Thankfully, this game does sort of stagger learning steps. So if you're struggling with, say, Breachon, there is an op just for Breachon, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, it doesn't throw you something completely new.
Yeah.
So care, again, you need to laser them. There's a potential option of like continuing the transplant while this nonsense is going on, but for now we're just taking care of the little Stigma lings.
Just taking care.
Yes, glad you noticed.
You can see I'm tapping the laser. It is going down in durability, but this is better than basically just holding it. I'm now going to do part of the transplant.
Yeah. And I just want to mention just how hard it is on your thumb finger to constantly just mash in that rhythm. It just starts hurting after a little while.
I mean, I've run Trauma Team, I've gotten used to it at this point. Trauma Team has no text skip, so we have to manually mash through text boxes. That's why you get used to just mashing.
Yeah, but the Wiimote is not the most comfortable controller to mash on.
Oh, no, it's not.
So yeah, that's going to be a care defeated as soon as the next hit comes in and we complete the transplant.
I'm glad you were counting, I wasn't.
Yeah, I do math sometimes.
That's one patient done. Yeah, we've kind of pointed out this game isn't great for your wrists, as is Trauma Center as a whole. As a general sort of thing is you'd have to take a lot of breaks, otherwise you will develop RSI.
Alright, so we're going to put in the liver. We're already expecting a Stigma, but you better hold on to your cares because there's Onyx as well. So they throw 2 Stigmas at us now, both of which cut after some amount of time of being ignored, which is why we're using Healing Touch to extend that amount of time. So Leo's dealing a bit with the cares, then finding Onyx and alternating optimally. All the cares will be, the Onyx will be defeated by the time the HT ends. There's like 1 more hit, 2 more hits.
Don't you mean the mouse with cheese?
Mouse with cheese, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's 1 more hit. I'm gonna have to be pretty careful here. Careful.
Yeah, careful. Oh, this is kinda sketchy.
I need to...
Oh,
Okay, it's fine.
okay, yeah. The reason we're so scared, the big care, when it attacks, it deals like 15 damage, and we were right around that amount of vitals, so if it just decided to attack, the patient would have died, and we would have gone back to the first patient.
Yep.
That's why we say we have spare patients. Because not only we need to redo the second one, we need to redo the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, for transplant, we're just injecting the sedative into the veins or whatever blood vessels these are. I don't remember the names, and just suturing them up.
It's fine.
Don't bandage kill.
I won't.
Okay, I trust you. Setting up all the death flags. Nice.
I made sure, don't worry.
Yeah.
Alright. That's now all of the stupidly hard operations out the way, and we get to chill for a little bit. Mostly. So we're in the last chapter now, and we go back to America. So we do 6 operations in total. One of them is still another Stigma sort of rush, as we call them. Basically an operation that has multi-Stigma on multi-patients. But first off, we get to do surgery in the dark, bringing back the Z1 episode from Second Opinion, as well as Z3. It's kind of combined, like it's a mishmash of all the operations from the games.
Or the truck operation from UTK2. I guess UTK2 came after us. So.
Yeah, so technically, it's actually stealing from this.
Yes. I mean, UTK2 is stealing half the operations from this game.
Yeah. That's kind of why I call it sort of a port instead of a... But it is a whole new game in itself. Its mechanics are independent enough.
So in this operation we're introduced to a new kind of tumors. You need to drain them, cut out all the veins, I think we call them, and then get them out. You didn't...
I'm sitting there like, what is this gonna happen? Thank you for pointing it out. I am partially brain empty.
Okay, so, and another gimmick with these, if you extract one of these tumors and let the other one stay, they will respawn, as tumors do. So Leo just cuts both of them out and takes them out basically at the same time, so we don't have any chance to respawn. And here's the gimmick. The lights turn off, and Leo activates HT, because every vein you cut adds more passive damage to the patient. So this time we're cutting out like 9 veins from these tumors, so the passive damage is absolutely insane. But since we locked the vitals in one place, we're completely fine. And we're operating in the patient using the light from like a lighter, because of course.
The patient smoked cigars, and thankfully that was nearby for reasons.
Yeah, you put the lighter inside the patient to better see, right? That's how it works?
That's also how we cauterize the wound, right?
Yeah.
It's so questionable.
Medically safe.
Yep.
Trust us.
Alright. So now we are done with that. We move on to another Stigma Rush. While we load into that, if we have any messages, this is the perfect time.
Thank you very much. Just a friendly reminder that you can still donate for the, let's see here, Octopath Traveler reward, the voiceover language choice. It is coming up right after this run. $50 will let you choose if you want it to be English or Japanese. Later today, also on stream 2, we have Inscription, a target for Appreciate Goosebird's art, and we are about 2/3 of the way there. Keep the donations coming.
Nice.
Also, one thing, funny thing we didn't mention, with like the sprites, because of how we're playing, we're a bit cut off.
So in Japanese, for some reason, they're like not sitting on the very bottom, and as I pointed out, you won't be able to unsee it.
Yeah. You can thank me later.
Yep. It doesn't happen in PAL or in the English version, like NTSC. But that also means that if you run the American version of the game, so the NTSC copy, you can actually run the game in Japanese just via homebrew, which is a nice little time save, as it saves about 20 seconds, if I remember.
I have no clue.
Yeah, I think New Blood's like a little more text heavy, so it makes sense.
Yeah, so we start with Breachon again, because, of course, it's the same as always. 4 HP, 3, 4, 4 grapplers.
Yeah.
Some of them are a bit shorter, I think we made it that way.
Yeah, this op as a whole is just a bit tighter in timing.
Thankfully, we will hopefully not see any grappler respawns.
Yep.
This is the last time we see Breachon, thankfully, in this run. There are post-game operations where you could potentially see it more.
Yep, thankfully we don't touch those. My wrists are not ready for that.
Nice. So next up, we didn't know which 2 Stigma to put in. We knew they wanted care.
Yep.
So what do they put if they don't know what to put?
Soma.
Of course the boring auto-scroller Stigma. So Leo HTs to quickly take care of the cares, about the care in the world. I know we used that before, but it works. So yeah, the cares just keep on respawning. The first 2 do cuts, the second 2 will spawn tumors if you allow them to attack, and the third one, I guess...
it's a big laceration for the
yeah,
third one.
The third one is just a big laceration. I just didn't know how to properly name it. And all the while our little cotton candy cloud is floating around. Now we have to wait for them to merge up into one big one. Drain a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I could, but I prefer to get the vitals up. They're a bit low.
Yeah, but because both of the Stigmas essentially use laser, we cannot treat them both at the same time, which is a bit unfortunate, because the laser would run out way faster and we would have to deal with way more nonsense. So we just take care of the little tumors our cotton cloud spawns, and take care of care first. And now we're on to the boring part, I guess.
Yeah.
They only try to make it Soma a bit harder by like adding a bit more damage, I think, but it's irrelevant. The fake cloud has 3 drain HP, I guess we can call it. The big one has 5, I believe, so...
Yeah, I can't quite remember the exact timings. Or, yeah, it's 1 less at least.
Yeah. So if Leo accidentally somehow drains the main core first, the fake core will explode into 5 little thingies instead of 4 that we saw before. But realistically, that's all there is to Soma.
Yep, of course. So we did that, and in case you didn't have enough of Soma, time for more Soma.
Yeah, Soma is just the go-to Stigma when you need something next to another Stigma.
Yeah. So we got Onyx and Stigma here. Onyx and Soma, rather.
Oh yeah, then amazing hitboxes.
I have not had that happen before.
Our cheese got stolen again, Leo.
Man, the cheese thief.
Yeah, so once again, you can kind of see where Onyx is heading by looking at its sprite when it's diving. Leo's tracking that direction. Here it is. Generally, in this phase, the real Onyx does not stand on, like, the root part. It tries to stay on the organ, I think.
Yeah, it cannot go outside of the organ boundaries. So if you're looking for it and you're struggling, it's potentially because you're looking too far outside of the organ.
Yeah. And now we continue dealing with Soma.
It's worth mentioning that with Onyx, if you cut the wrong one, you cause an explosion on, like, in terms of damage, with like 4 or 5 cuts.
Yeah.
Which is really bad. It's the same as if you were to let Onyx.
Yeah, not find it in time. Yeah. Thankfully, this is the last time we see Soma.
Yep.
Or
thankfully.
Onyx. Or Care.
Yep.
Over than with a multi-stigma.
Ah.
Well, you tried to suture his mouth, didn't you?
Apparently so. Sensible is interesting. I went to scratch my face and that made the Wiimote a bit wonky. Fun. Anyway, that's basically the last bits of Soma and other strains of Stigma. And we move on to kind of some other somewhat related operations until we get to the final operation, which is coming up pretty shortly, which is going to be fun. As I'm going to go for a pretty silly strat.
Oh yeah.
But we'll get to that when we get there. For now, all we need to do is...
Oh, it's the brain surgery.
Yeah, all we need to do, quote unquote, it sounds so simple, is we're going to basically just pull out some chips, pull out some pins, put the chips back, and the guy's saved.
Yeah.
That's how that works, right?
Yeah, of course. We're operating on a mind-controlled device strapped onto a brain, essentially.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Common occurrence.
Obviously. It's just like any other Thursday.
Yeah. It's a routine operation.
Yep.
So Leo needs to pull out these little balls without hitting all the sparks, or the patient dies instantly. Now he needs to pull out these light bulbs before they light up, or the patient dies instantly. If he pulls out in a wrong, like, angle, the patient takes like 20 damage.
Yeah,
and once again, he needs to put in the balls.
And just like that's done.
Or the patient dies instantly.
It's, now that you pointed out, it's kind of scary, that operation. I mean, just sort of go fast and don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. You ruined that word.
Yep. And so, of course, since this game is set like, what, 15 years after the first game, we get a little cameo of Derek and Angie. At some point, they'll be here.
Yeah, they're the surgeon and the nurse from like the first 2 games and, and the 4th game, I guess.
They look a little bit scuffed, I'll be honest.
Yeah, we look weird. But it's fine.
Yep.
Oh, what is this? Oh, it's the injection op, right?
Yeah, it's the injection op. So we have to inject colors. We're basically going to play Simon Says on, I think, this guy's lung, if I remember right?
Somewhere there. We'll figure it out.
If you couldn't tell, most of the time we don't know which operation we're doing until we're in it. We're like, oh, it's this one. Okay, let's just do this.
Yeah, you kind of see the patient and you're just like, it's this guy.
One, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're doing it on the log with circles somewhere there.
Okay.
Roughly.
So the syringe is going to get very low, and I'll need to be very careful on injecting things, but should be fine.
Yeah, so we open up the patient. We'll need to inject like white sedative into the lung. Leo is also using the antibiotic gel to boost vitals, since it does boost vitals by a little bit, since he needs the syringe for these. What do we even call it? I don't remember. Inflammations, of course.
I guess.
Yeah, so initially you see their color, but when you inject the white sedative into the organ, you no longer see color, but you can treat them. So you just have to remember them. The good part is the amount of each color per stage is set, but not their locations. So Leo roughly knows what he's dealing with, he just needs to see the locations. So 3 reds, 1 yellow to the left.
I was like, is that one yellow or is that one blue?
Okay. Yeah, it can be hard to remember when you, especially when you're going super fast. And the syringe is very red, as you can see. He needs to wait a little bit.
Is that blue?
No. Actually, I'm lying. I'm lying.
Nurse! You're terrible.
Yes.
Can we get a new nurse in here? This one just keeps giving me terrible puns and gives me bad instructions. I'm joking, by the way.
Liam.
Gosh, okay. It's fine. We treated them. I mean, thankfully I was careful enough with the vitals and making sure everything was kind of paced out. We used to do that operation as Valerie because of the vital damage, and then we realized we don't need to do that. That's kind of a waste of time to pick Valerie specifically.
And now, what's a trauma center game without a bomb?
Yep. So we have a bomb on this patient's heart, and it acts like a shackle. So if they leave the building in the background, they just explode. It's a bit gruesome. I hadn't actually really thought about it. I was like, oh, that's...
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to open them up. The problem is they also have like a heart pump thing that helps regulate their heart.
Yeah.
So we need to remove that, then remove the bomb, then put the unit back. It's
Yeah. The bomb is trapped to like the pump unit, so...
Yeah. So we're gonna basically try and go fast and hope that the RNG does not mess me over and lose 10 seconds.
So basically, initially Leo needs to laser these chips-like thingies that you might remember from chapter 1, I think, at the very end. Take them out, cut out the entire thing, and all of this can happen, and during all of this, fibrillation can happen. This is the bomb we're trying to take out of, we're just doing circles and eventually it will be...
Yo!
Nice! Oh.
Okay, so we still got the heart massage to do, but I still got 1 chip in, which is pretty good. So we're still losing time to this heart massage, which is pure random chance. And of course, it's on the second to last op. But
Yeah.
Low?
So basically...
Low?
Is that? Oh no, okay. Indicated boxes.
But that was pretty good. The fibrillation came in quite late, so I was able to put the pump down. The pump's rotation is really important. The location of it, like up and down, isn't quite so much. But pretty quick. And then we move on to the last operation, where we get to deal with the last strain of Stigma. And this is probably the most anticlimactic final boss. Like, Second Opinions 1 is pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
UTK 1 also pretty dramatic. UTK 2 especially dramatic.
Yeah.
Trauma Team is very like thematic, so it kind of fits. It's not.
Yeah.
So it all kind of works. This one, we just pop HT and go brr with a laser and it dies.
Oh, first you have to remove the cards from Cardia. You see what I mean?
Yeah, so we have some membranes that we need to remove, or cards, as Leon just referred to them as. So we use the gel, and then we cut them out. The problem is Cardia is going to be walking on said membranes, so we need to do a little trick to make him move. But yeah, this is the final operation here. And we get some dramatic music to go with it.
Yeah, so Cardia stands on these membranes or cards, as I said, and if you try to pull it out from below it,
That happens.
and if it steps on a red tile, maximum vitals go down.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
fine.
just teleports away for a little bit so you can take it out. But the strat Leo was trying to aim for is to pinch like one membrane to make it not exist. Oh.
It teleported back in right as I went to grab it.
Cardia is just being mean. So yeah,
Yep, that's okay.
you need the gel, cut them out, take it away when Cardia is not on it, essentially. That's what Leo is doing. Cardia is spawning like in a set pattern, so Leo can make it...
Oh, come on! Where it teleports to is completely random.
Really?
So, yes, where it teleports to exactly is random. Initially, it will teleport to the exact same spot, though.
Yeah.
So, but when it then teleports for the second time, it can just teleport where you want to remove something. You'll notice I burn the laser out here. I'm going to then pop HT mid-animation while it's doing something, as it extends the time I can laser it. This is perfect. This is pretty much the perfect Cardia cycle so far.
Yeah, it's just hiding behind, Elena said.
I really hope it doesn't go off the edge of the screen. This is fine.
Yeah.
So you notice my laser's going to burn out, and HT is ending, and it's now doing this weird wiggle. It's going to do a spin, and I now got to kill it before it activates all of those bombs. Thankfully, I was pretty fast, and that wasn't that spooky.
And that was the cardinal Stigma.
Oh my...
I had to put it last in.
Alright. But that is the last operation. We are now done. We just need to get to the end of the epilogue before the credits, and that'll be time. So, let's open up the epilogue. I remember to do skip first, as there's a bit of dialogue. But that was the last op. It was, like I said, pretty anticlimactic. Where I just sort of... It's dead.
This is the part where we cannot use episode select skip or ESS as we call it. We just have to watch the cutscene for the epilogue.
Yep.
Unlike in UTK2.
Yeah, it's the only game in the series that, oh no, and I guess Trauma Team you can skip through. But yeah, it's majority of the games you have to actually watch the epilogue, so it adds on like 30 seconds to the time. But getting ready on time. When skip disappears, that's time. My hands hurt now.
I mean, I'd expect so. You were waggling so much the entire time.
Yeah, we did some serious waggling.
Yeah, I at least separate the games, the DS games and Wii games into waggling games and squiggling games.
Yep.
That's the official distinction for me.
I just saw a GG from Osan, who is currently the record holder. That man's insane.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, if you're interested in Trauma Center at all, we have a Discord. We're also on speedrun.com, and you can find the link to the Discord there. We're pretty chill. The community's grown quite a bit in the last 2-3 years, so it's been pretty chill. So if you're interested in these games, if you just want to learn to get a little bit better, necessarily not to speedrun it, but if you want to speedrun it, we can also help you out with that. So if that interests you at all. And if I recall, we have the meme showcase.
We do indeed.
So I think we'll need to do a little bit of setup for that. But there are some memes inbound. So thank you so much for everyone who donated to that. Because I know the meme team has been working hard on that. So you'll need to do a bit of setup. But yeah, you got anything to drop?
No, not really. He said everything.
Cool. Yeah, give this man a follow. He does Trauma Center sometimes, mostly on DS.
Give that man a follow as well.
Cool. Alright, so I guess we'll get set up for the meme showcase. So don't go anywhere.